Sharp Game here, back with another video coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com, off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And I got a question from somebody, and they said, what's it like living in Japan, and what's the average Japanese girl like? It's a good question. Like, if you've been following me for a while, I do a lot of videos talking about Japan because I've had a lot of experience, and I lived in Japan for almost 4 years, and I still travel back and forth to Japan to this day, and I still know people that's from Japan to this day. Even I know Japanese people that live in America, and I know Japanese people that still live in Japan. But that's why I talk about Japan. I talk about what I know. I don't talk about what I don't know very much. I don't talk about what I heard very much. I talk about what I know, what I experience, and what I see. I don't give theories. I don't do that. That's the difference between me and a lot of other people that you might see online. A lot of people giving theories. They're giving narratives on how they want where they want things to go. And their advice is based on, it's bias, based on where they want things to go and where they want things to be in the future. I talk about how it is right now and what you can do about it right now. So, with that being said, living in Japan is a very difficult place, man. Especially if you're coming from a Western country. So when I say Western country, I mean North America, Australia, UK, places like that. You know, even if you come from South America and if you move to Japan, it's still a very, very difficult place to live. And the reason why that is because what's so frustrating about living in Japan is some of your best assets could be your personality, could be your whole way of being. In Japan, it could be a turnoff. That's what's so frustrating about being in Japan. And the way they go about doing a lot of things, it's not very practical. It's not like 2 plus 2 equals 4. You know, they don't think like that. See, everybody in Japan for the most part is doing the same shit. And has been doing the same shit for hundreds of years. And if you go over to Japan trying to change somebody's mind, it's just not going to work out. It's just not going to go very well. This is why a lot of people go to Japan. They don't even last 6 months in most cases. They'll get like a year visa. And within 6 months, they're packing it up, trying to get up out of there. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. It's a difficult place for Japanese people to live. And a lot of Japanese people know Japan is a hard place to live. And see, a lot of people get things a little confused because they think when they see Tokyo, they think all of Tokyo that's how all of Japan is. Actually, no. Most Japanese people don't live in Tokyo because it's very expensive. I mean, it's a very expensive place to live, period. But especially the Tokyo area, it's a very expensive area. I mean, the other cities like Osaka, Nagoya, Yokohama, it's expensive too, but not as much as Tokyo. See, Tokyo is really for foreigners. It's a tourist spot, so you know that's the spot where it's used to generate money. So, but they cater to foreigners. So a lot of Japanese people, they don't really hang out in Tokyo very much, if at all. You know what I'm saying? I know some Japanese people, they don't really go to Tokyo unless they have to. They have to have a good reason. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of Japanese people, just a lot of people in Japan just can't afford to live in Tokyo. It's very expensive, man. It's probably one of the most expensive places I've ever been. It's very expensive, man. Damn. It's like being in New York City or LA or London. It's expensive like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, when it comes to the Japanese girls, the average Japanese girl is kind of just going along to get along, really. She's not she's trying to do what everybody else is doing. She conforms. And see, your experience in Japan is going to be based upon the Japanese people that you meet. You know what I mean? And your experience in Japan is going to be based on the Japanese girls that you meet as well. Because there's different types of Japanese girls. So you got the Japanese girls that have traveled, and you know, they can kind of relate to a foreigner moving to Japan. And a lot of Japanese girls, the way they act and the way they think is going to be based on who they hang with, who they spend the most time with. So if they hang around a lot of foreigners, they're probably going to have a different way of thinking compared to a Japanese girls that hang around a lot of Japanese people all the time. Or if the Japanese girl live in America or any Western world country, she's probably gonna be Americanized or have a Western world way of thinking, so to speak. And if she lives in America, she's probably going to be more of an opportunist. Because a lot of Japanese girls that come over here, they're really trying to come up. So the people or the side that's winning in society, that's the side that the Japanese girls are going to be on. Regardless of how immoral they may be. Because see, the Japanese girls see it like this. It's all about, for the most part, it's all about the money. For the most part. So I give you an example. Let's take somebody like Donald Trump. He gets on television, say everything rude and disrespectful you could say under the sun, right? But see, a Japanese girl, just like most women living in America, they really don't have a problem with him saying what he's saying because he's Donald Trump. And the perception of Donald Trump is he's a rich, wealthy white man, right? So the average Japanese girl will overlook everything he said only because he's Donald Trump. And this is how the average Japanese girl thinks. They think just like this. Everything is basically shallow. They have a shallow way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's really it's a very interesting way of seeing things. You see, for them, it's not about morals. It's not about having good morals. It's not about that shit at all. To them, it's all about conforming and being comfortable. That's what it's all about for the average Japanese girl. This is why I said the Japanese girls coming to America, they're perfect. They're a perfect fit. Because they already doing what, when they come over here, they're gonna conform and they're gonna follow the status quo anyway. And they're already doing that in Japan. So when they come over here, it's like a match made in heaven. This is why when they come over here, you know, they can get a decent paying job, they can have their own spot, get a car if they want one, and they can do all that without a man. Without a man in sight at all. See, in Japan, the average Japanese girl, they don't live alone. They live with their parents or have a roommate. But see, when they come to America, they can make more money, have more men in their horizon, and she doesn't have to get. She doesn't have to have a lot of. She don't have a lot of pressure on her to get married, because she has a longer dating span in America. Because see, she can still get married in the 30s and 40s, maybe in the 50s in America, or in any Western country. See, in Japan, once she gets past 25, her stock value tends to drop drastically, and she's not desired in society. So she knows she has an advantage coming to a place like America or any Western country, you know, but they probably won't admit to it though, because if you talk to the average Japanese girl, they'll make it seem like they had it going on before they came or moved to wherever they moved at. They make it seem like every Japanese person living in Japan is living a great, awesome life with no problems or no hard feelings or no setbacks of anything. But that's not the case. Don't fall for that bullshit. The same problems they have in America, they have in Japan. But sometimes it can be, sometimes those same problems are sometimes worse. So that's how the average Japanese girl thinks. And that's how it is living in Japan. I mean, I could go on, but that's the gist of how it is. But you know, your experience is going to be based upon the type of Japanese people you meet in Japan. That's how it is. You know what I mean? So if you got any more questions, any concerns about living in Japan and Japanese girls, leave your comments and concerns below. Check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Until next time, I'm out.